grade 11. Welcome to another video session. We're going to continue with Unit 1. And in the previous video, in the structure video, I mentioned punctuation for enumeration. This is related to writing, and also as it's a convention, like a rule, it can be related to the grammar conventions as well. So enumeration comes from numbering. Let's look at the definition first. Punctuation for enumeration, listing, or enumeration is an important characteristic of the style used in these documents. So when enumerating ideas, you place basically a comma between each item in the series. So the choice to use the serial comma in a list of 3 or more enumerated items is a matter of style. If it is used, the serial comma is placed immediately before the coordinating conjunctions. Usually it can be and, or, nor. In addition, enumerated text must demonstrate a parallel structure. What is parallel structure? If you're using your 3 items here, it says a list of 3 or more enumerated items. If you have this, then it means it has to be all adjectives, all verbs, all nouns. This is what parallel structure means. It has to have the same grammar structure. For instance, if 2 items in the list are propositional phrases, then the remaining items in the list should also be propositional phrases. You cannot mix propositions, verbs, adjectives in that listing order. So enumeration is listing items in a series. Punctuation shows how a list is organized. Serial commas separate items in a list. You place a comma after each item in the list except the last one, and they have to follow parallel structure. Let's look at some examples. Here, all items here are nouns. The government should protect its men, women, and children. Do you see how they put the commas here after men, after women, but after and we don't put. Before and we put it, but the last thing is children, so it stops there. We don't put anything here in between. The next list is verbs. Our class is reading, discussing, and analyzing historic documents. So analyze the places of commas, how they used it, and look at the structure. It's parallel. All of them, they have ing, verbs. This list is adjectives. Her analysis was clear, logical, and fascinating. So you cannot put anything else here. You cannot put a noun or adverb or anything else. They all have to be adjectives. And this list has propositional phrases. The document is concerned with rights, with responsibilities, and with justice. With, here is the proposition. Next to it, together, it's propositional phrase. And these ones are clauses, like sentences. To reach our goal, we will cooperate, we will be persistent, and we will compromise when necessary. Do you see the structure, parallel structure here? We will, we will, we will. It's all future tense. So when we look at this example from your book, here, single words, example of parallel structure, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property. These are all nouns, life, liberty, and property. How about the phrases? In order to perform a more perfect union, to establish justice, to ensure domestic tranquility, to provide for the common defense, to promote the general welfare, and to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity. This is infinitive phrases. So to establish, to ensure, to provide, etc. How about the clauses? Excessive bail shall not be required, nor shall excessive fines be imposed, nor shall cruel and unusual punishment be inflicted. These are all like nor shall not be required, nor shall excessive fines be independent clauses from the text. These examples are from the Read It section from your book. It says add commas to each sentence about these documents. Then identify what type of item has been enumerated. Did you enumerate verbs, nouns, adjectives? Which ones? So the sentence is this: the preamble to the Constitution secures the blessings of liberty to the American people, to their descendants, and to every generation. So here we have two, that means we have a proposition. So to American people, we put comma. To their descendants, we put comma. And to every generation. So when we look at this, we call them propositional phrases, and we put the commas in the correct place. Another sentence: these brief historic and comprehensive amendments shape many aspects of American life. So a comma should appear after brief. These brief, we put comma, historic, comma, and comprehensive amendments. They are all adjectives: brief, historic, and comprehensive. See, when we don't put the commas, when you read the sentence out loud, sometimes it doesn't even make sense because you cannot express it clearly. But when we put comma, we pause, and then the listeners in front of us, they just understand what we want to say more clearly. And the last example: today, Americans can read the text of the Bill of Rights online. They can purchase printed copies, or they can see one of the original documents on display. So these are all independent clauses. Let's put the commas. We have to say, how do they read? Online. They can purchase printed copies, comma. Or they can see one of the original documents on display. So when you see a comma, you pause, you breathe a little bit, like half breath, and then you continue reading. Now, we have this worksheet from Pearson classes. It says underline the parallel grammatical units in each sentence. Circle the serial commas. So these are the original sentences on your worksheets. So here, let's look at this. So basically, the commas is easy to identify. And then we underline here the enumerated words: short, forceful, and compelling for number one. And number two, careful planning, thoughtful questioning, and unbiased reporting. Number three, in reference books, on internet pages, and from interviews. Number four, lightning, sound, camera work, editing. Number five, film. To produce a film, you need to gather funds, assemble a production team, and monitor progress. So basically, this is the writer use nouns here, propositional phrases, and verbs in the sentences. They are all grouped together. Here it says add serial commas to each sentence, then identify the type of grammatical item. So when we look at number one, we say the disorganized, confusing, and sloppy report received a poor grade. So we have to put disorganized, comma, confusing, comma, and sloppy report. They are all adjectives. Second one, the writer reviewed, comma, corrected, comma, and revised to produce a contest-winning essay. They are all verbs in past tense. Second page, it says underline and identify the parallel grammatical units in each sentence. So here we say My uncle has worked in restaurants, on boats, and for corporations. So we have to underline in restaurants, on boats, and for corporations. Because we have in, on, for, that those are propositions. So we say these are propositional phrases. And the second one is friendly, open, and direct personality. So we underline those, and they are adjectives. Here, the research team includes biologists, mathematicians, and reporters. So basically, biologists, mathematicians, and reporters, they are nouns. The scientists collected, inspected, and organized data. Collected, inspected, and organized, they are verbs. Their work has surprised, encouraged, and inspired many people. Surprise, encourage, and inspired, they are verbs. Part B, it says add serial commas to each sentence. So we're going to put commas here. This is how it looks like. Any reporter needs inspiration, caution, and patience. Media attention can intensify, exaggerate, and even create conflicts. Intensify, exaggerate, and even create conflicts. Critical viewers need to question what they see, comma, look for hidden biases, comma, and challenge questionable statements. Number 4, an impartial report should be clear, comma, thorough, comma, and fair to all sides. Information on the internet can be poorly researched, comma, inadequately supported, comma, or confusing stated. So you need to look at the items, like the words coming one after another, and think, where can I put comma? Because as you can see, we always have conjunctions here, and, or, nor. So that means we have to put comma somewhere. We cannot use them like a train, one after another, without commas. Here it says, write sentences using the following items. Use serial commas. So here, you can use your own sentences. I'm just going to show you some examples that I put together. So for the first one, we can say a film requires actors, comma, directors, comma, writers, comma, and crew members. They already put the commas here anyway. All you need to do is find the beginning of the sentence. For the second one, the plot of the film was suspenseful, complicated, and exciting. 3, the cast will be memorizing, rehearsing, and performing later this year. Number 4, an actor can find work in movies, on film, and on television. Number 5, the director previewed the film, made changes, and won awards for the final project. So this is the end of the lesson. Please go back to the information that I have given you, and then solve your worksheets on your own. I'll see you in the next video session. Thank you. Bye-bye.